The evolution of transportation started from the well-rounded wheel to the domestication of horses and later leading to carriages. By the 1900s, Henry Ford's mass production of modern vehicles and the introduction of planes by the Wright brothers shaped the transportation industry, which allowed people to travel to places further and faster than ever before. However, these benefits came with a cost. Over 29% of greenhouse gases emitted in the United States and 20% globally come from the transportation industry. Passenger cars are the biggest offenders, with over 4 million passenger miles annually in the US, with the remainder of emissions coming from trucks, ships, trains, and aircraft. Greenhouse gas emissions from transportation are increasing faster than any other sector and will continue to do so if nothing is done.
Almost all of our transportation infrastructure relies heavily on fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels create emissions that increase global temperatures and much more. These chemicals also pollute the air, water, land, and hurt biodiversity. Currently, the amount of reliance we have on the transportation industry will only continue to pollute our environment, trapping greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
The next step would be to slowly transition from the use of fossil fuels to more sustainable alternatives such as biodiesel or ethanol-based fuels. Biofuels are more clean forms of gas, but they do have their setbacks. The process of harvesting these fuels is not very sustainable yet. Companies like Sapphire Energy are testing new forms of biofuels with algae. Since algae needs less time and less land to grow, they have potential to be a sustainable alternative. More funding is still needed from the government to develop this process.
Today, there are many sustainable innovations that have helped mitigate the excessive emissions of the transportation industry. Countries across the world have already taken initiative to plan for future generations. For example, the maglev railing system in Japan uses magnetic forces rather than coal to power the trains. The US has had help from big companies like Tesla to integrate affordable electric vehicles onto the market. Although electric cars still have many improvements before they are completely sustainable, the electricity generated for electric cars is equivalent to the amount of carbon produced by driving a gas-powered vehicle. A solution to this would be improving the entire grid as more electric cars hit the mainstream.
It is up to our generation to find solutions to mitigate the overuse of the transportation industry. Companies like Uber and Lyft are paving the road for the future of transportation by providing taxi-like options to citizens, as well as ride-sharing and giving individual options to carpool. There is still much work to be done before we cut emissions to a reasonable level. However, simple steps can be taken to be more sustainable, from small efforts like walking, biking, and carpooling to much larger efforts like investing in energy-efficient technologies or setting laws to promote better infrastructure and efficient transportation. What we do today will have a lasting impact on our children and the grandchildren of tomorrow.